When you think about money, what's the first thing that comes to mind? That is an indication on your money story. Now, the first thing I ever thought about money was that money was something that you used to, you know, get what you want or solve problems. My earliest memory about money was not something that I felt like I needed, right? Because I was trained in a home where we had just enough, but not more than enough. Okay, so I never had a fear of money. Neither did I have such a significant or massive need of money. But as I grew older, okay, I think the first time that I began to feel the importance of money was when I became a mother. When I became a mother and I realized that money was a tool to provide, I think at that point, money became real to me. Before then, I was just fascinated with making money and managing money, not from a place of what money could do for me. Because, like I said, I grew up in a home where we had just enough, right? So we never had like adverse scarcity, neither did we have like significant abundance. And so money was just, a tool to meet basic needs. But I think at the time I now had my child, it became something extremely important to actually keep the child alive. Now, today we're going to be talking about how to shift your identity to attract financial abundance. For me, for many years, I, you know, knew a lot about money because I just always been fascinated. First started with me doing how to count money, and people just thought, "Oh, you're good with numbers. You should be an accountant." And I think I just followed that popular advice. Okay, and I did the logical thing. But something used to happen to me when I was in school. I always used to fight literally with my professor then of accounting, because I used to be very angry that how come all we're doing with accounting is accounting what money that's already been made, and there was nothing really around how we would actually make the money. We're just accounting for what has been made. And so it was just a consistent, why are we always focused on historicals? Why are we not thinking about how to create money? So I really didn't like the historical bit of accounting. I preferred the projection bits, which is where we're really thinking about how to make money and where the money's going to come from. But despite that, I still kind of struggled, okay, with making money. And for me, for a long time, I was like, why am I struggling with making money? I know so much about money theoretically. I know how to account for money. I know how to manage money. Why am I struggling to make money? Okay. And I think it's on that journey I began to understand, okay, that our identity of money shapes how much money comes into our life and how we bring money into our life. So remember, I grew up in a home where money was just made basic needs, nothing extra. So I found out that I had a money ceiling. If you didn't listen to my video, my live stream last week, I think you should go and listen to it. You can learn about money ceiling. I found out that I had a money ceiling. All right. My money ceiling was coming from how I grew up, okay, which is that money was meet basic needs. And so something on the inside of me always shut down if I was looking for to get money for more than the basic needs. Because it was like once you meet the basic needs, what do you want more money for, right? You've already met your basic needs. What are you looking for? What's the extra you're looking for? Okay. And so somehow in my mind, I had an identity of what money was. And that identity continued to shape my life till I got older. And if you're listening to this stream, either you're listening to it live or you're listening to the replay, I want you to ask yourself a question, which is what I started with. What does money mean to you? Okay? So think about it. What does money mean to you? When you think about money, what does it mean to you? What comes to your mind? Do you feel anxiety? Do you feel fear? Do you feel excitement? Or what do you feel? Okay? That is an indication of your how you identify with money, your money identity. That is also an indication of your money story. Okay. And so this video is really about how do we change that identity. And what's your identity? Your identity is a deep set of belief that you have concerning something. Okay. So your deep set of beliefs that you have concerning something, and that now shapes how you react or you respond to that thing. Okay, so that's why, for example, let's even move away from money. If you feel like you're very good in your academics, you're most likely going to approach your academic studies with much more excitement and eagerness because you feel you're good. And so you feel like if you apply yourself, you're going to actually, do well in your academics because you have this confidence that I'm good at my academics, right? So, very similar with the money story. I met people over the course of the years I've been on this earth that have interesting money stories. I remember I organized a conference so a couple of years ago, and a guy came up to the microphone and actually said that my father said that in our family we never make it as entrepreneurs. That's what the guy was saying. And so therefore, I know that even if I'm an entrepreneur, I will never make money. So again, that's his identity. His story from his childhood or what his father has told him has formed his identity. So you can imagine that that person, based on the identity he holds in his mind, the picture he holds in his mind, based on the deep beliefs he has, he will not build a successful business, right? Because he already has that story in his mind. Okay. And that is why we need to first identify what are your beliefs about money? What is the thing that is controlling you? It's what is the picture you see when you think about money? Okay. And what is because if you are able to identify the picture, you're able to begin to make changes and shift your identity for financial abundance. Let me tell you another story. Years ago, when I was actively doing business coaching, right, there was a client that came to me, and she came to me, and she was excited. She saw another person who had worked with me whose business was growing, but she wanted to get in quote the same results. But every time that I was pushing her and motivating her as a coach to sorry take some action, she kept resisting. And so I knew that there was something wrong because she was a pleasant lady. She came eagerly, she paid money, but there was no progress. And so I took a step back and I decided that, you know what, I wanted to investigate her background. I wanted to investigate her upbringing and I wanted to investigate her childhood because I wanted to understand why you paid your money, you say you wanted results, but you're resisting the action that will create the results. And so I spent a bit of time telling her, tell me about yourself, tell me about your family, and tell me about her mother who was also a businesswoman. I said, oh, that's nice. Tell me about your mother's business, okay? Tell me the story and all that. And she excitedly told me that her mother refused to open more than one shop, all right? And with that small shop, she was able to train all her and all her siblings to become who they are. And so then I realized that that was the issue. In her mind, her identity was, why do I need to stress myself and expand my business? Even though she said I want to expand my business, but her identity was what she was saying was her mother, who had only one shop. And through the shop, she trained her and her siblings. So why was I, and that's why subconsciously she was resisting, okay, what the result she said she wanted. Because the truth is that even though on the surface she wanted the results, but deep down inside of her, her identity was telling her, I don't need to stress myself. My mom did this with only one shop. And so why do I need to stress myself and do all the expansion and be like to that person I'm saying I want to be like? So you see, that's the power of our identity. So your identity is controlling the decisions you're making, whether you like it or not. All right. No matter how ambitious or driven or I want to be financially successful, you say you are, if you don't fix that identity and have that identity shift, it's going to keep hindering what you say you want. Now, I have gone through this whole identity shift, mindset shift, and that's why I talk so much about it when it comes to money. Because I realize that that's really the key that will unlock your next level in finances. And by the way, that's why I created the Millionaire Mindset course. So if you haven't watched that course or bought the course, it is a good course to invest in yourself so that you can actually shift your money ceiling, okay? And really unlock an identity, the right identity of abundance. But today I'm going to share briefly a few things that you can do. Okay, begin to shift your identity. Now, the first thing you want to do to shift your identity about money is to even identify what do you think about money? What is your identity? What's the picture you see about money? Okay. Now, one of the things that I had to realize was when I was growing up, my dad used to say to me, oh, you work hard. And when you work hard, you create results. So there's a point in my life when I felt all I needed to do to create results, make more money, become more successful, was work very hard. And then I remember one time I was working up till 2 a.m. in the morning. I was very proud of myself. Like, yes, I'm working hard. I'm going to make a lot of money. But unfortunately, I was doing it or working on a transaction. It didn't work out, right? And so I started to question myself and talk to God and try to understand what was happening to me. And I realized that even no matter how hard I worked, all right, if I did not change my identity of how I saw money, which was just meet basic needs, I will continue to sabotage myself. All right. And so I started to do a lot of work to understand what my money identity was. So that's the first thing you need to do. What is your money identity? You want to do work to understand what is your money identity? How do you see money? Okay. And then the next thing is, how do you want to see money? An indication of how you want to see money, from my perspective, if you're a person of faith like I am, is to understand what money is in context of God's provision for his children. Okay? For example, the Bible says that God, I will supply all your needs according to my riches in glory in Christ Jesus. And that scripture I really love is that the blessing of the Lord makes rich and has no sorrow. Or the blessing of the Lord makes rich without toil. Okay? And so, if you begin to understand that the source of your provision is God, okay, now that's a major identity shift, especially for people that are constantly worried about, hey, God, how will I survive? How will I thrive? How will I eat? How will I, that's those sort of things, okay? So, when you begin to shift and see that the source of your provision is a higher power, somebody greater than you, somebody more superior than you, then you shift the burden of money, okay, or your money story to a source greater than you. And believe me, if you can do that, that's such a relief. When you're not saying, oh God, how will I provide for myself? Oh God, and all that stuff. And you're now realizing that all your needs are already provided. That is an empowered place to be. So let me make it practical. So imagine you're a child of a billionaire. People always use the Otedola as a famous analogy. Okay, you're a child of, let's say, Otedola. Your father buys you a Ferrari that is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. You already know that you have houses to inherit. Would you be worried about money? Think about it. You probably won't, because you know that whether I like it or not, your father has houses that you can inherit. He bought you a Ferrari. You're living the good life. There's nothing to worry about money. So you probably will never be worried about money. Okay? And so that's why the identity shift of seeing the fact that you are connected to a greater source, a higher source, who has supplied all your needs, okay, helps you to shift how you see money. And so if you have any anxiety about money, if you have any worry about money, coming from the place of knowing that, yes, my needs are already supplied, it helps you to have much more peace about money. So very, very important. You need to see that your needs are supplied. It's not about how much you hustle or you do work. Now, all those things, work is very important as a way to respond, to bring in the provision, but your work is not the source of the provision. The provision has already been made available for you. Your work is just a vehicle to bring in the provision, meaning that the provision can come from any way beyond your work. So that's the first identity shift, knowing that there's a greater source that is available, that have already supplied all your needs. Okay, that's the first thing. You need to know that. You need to convince yourself about that. And then the next thing you want to then do is to be able to say, okay, now that I'm sure that all my needs are supplied, everything I need is provided for me. Okay, what do I need to begin to do? You need to begin to embody that identity of somebody who is well provided for. Think about it. If you are the child of that billionaire, will you be waking up, hey, let me be hustling for money? No. You will probably be thinking from a place of responsibility. My father has provided for me, or my mother has provided for me, because I believe that women can also be billionaires, right? Okay, and they are women billionaires, provided for me. And so my needs are taken care of. So I will be approaching finances from a place of, first of all, knowing I already have it. I got it. I already have it. It's already provided. So how do I play my part? Okay, so you now want to embody that identity of, I already have it. I already have it. And if you embody that identity of you already have it, the next thing that will happen to you is gratitude. You're now going to be really grateful, knowing that all your needs are supplied, knowing that you have all that you need, right? And so you're going to have a sense of gratitude When you think about money, you're not going to say, hey God, oh, I'm worried. No, your needs are supplied. You have all you need. So your identity with that of embodying it and then being grateful, knowing that you have all that you need, right? Then the next thing is imagine now that you have all that you need. How would you talk? What will you say to yourself, right? Which is where, for me, affirmations come in. And so, for example, the child of a billionaire will probably say, I am rich, I am wealthy, I am abundant, I have more than enough, right? Because that's the truth. They're not making it up, it is their reality, all right? And that's how you have to begin to speak, because your brain is listening to your voice. Your brain is listening to what you're saying to yourself, okay? And so you want to tell yourself, I'm wealthy, I'm rich, I'm abundant. And so you might say, oh, but talent, is that not deceitful? My bank account is red. Yes, your physical bank account is red. But remember, the first identity shift was your source. Your source has shifted from I have to work to provide for myself to I have a greater source. I have a God, I have a higher power, or whatever it is that you call, who has already supplied my need. And from that state, makes you grateful. And then you can speak with such confidence. But the most important thing to bring science to it is that as you speak it, your brain is creating new neural pathways to make that your reality. So all of a sudden, you are beginning to manifest and see yourself as this wealthy, this powerful. So, and that's where people who say they are delulu got it right, right? Because they believe until it becomes their reality. And it even lines up with the Bible. The Bible says that faith calleth things that be not until they are. Okay, so when people say, "Oh, I'm delulu," that's how I've created my reality. What they're actually doing is calling things that be not as though they are. Okay, and that's why they become it. And one quote I liked from, I think it's Mashan Daniels, she says that speak what you want to see until what you see is what you said. So you keep speaking it. I'm abundant. I'm wealthy. I'm prosperous. Now, for me, I go the extra mile to do this thing. So what do? I have alarms going off on my phone several times speaking abundance. Okay, I have alarms that go off on my phone several times a day that is saying, I'm always saying I'm good for money, I have more than enough, I have whatever. Why? Creating new neural pathways. And what does this do for you? It's shifting your money identity. You're reprogramming your brain that you're wealthy. You're reprogramming your brain that money is always flowing to you, abundance is always coming to you, have more than enough resources. You're abundant. And that way, you're also calming yourself down if you are worried. If you're a worried person, oh, where will I find money? Where's money coming from? Blah, blah, blah. You're calming yourself down and you're allowing your brain create space to be actually be able to attract more money into your life. And that's powerful. Okay. And so this is something you need to continue to do consistently. Okay. Acknowledging your source, acknowledging the fact that all your needs are supplied, being grateful, okay, and then repeating the affirmations of who you are. It doesn't matter what your bank account is saying, right? You need to constantly do this. You can do what I did, which is set your alarms and let it continue to go off several times a day. Some people even write it and create mirror, they put it in their bathroom, they put it visual cues, and it's going to change. So let me tell you a story. I remember when I was in university, in my first year, I was a bit chubby, right? Much more fit. So I wrote a visual cue, and put it on my mirror. So it's just something I wrote. I am beautiful, attractive, fit, and femme, or something like that. I can't remember the exact words, but I used to always say it to myself every day. I used to speak it to myself until it became my reality. So that's what you need to do. You need to speak what you want to see until it becomes your reality. If you're watching this in the replay, let me know in the comment below what you're speaking to yourself that you want to become your reality. So that's one of the things that I beautiful and attractive, and I look the way I wanted to look. And it's the same thing with money. Okay, you begin to shift your mindset. And then what then happens to you, which is something that has happened to me several times in my life. opportunities to now bring in money with ease now starts to come to you. Why? Because you are in a calm, relaxed place and value and attract money without killing yourself, right? So the whole hustle culture, that's why I'm not a big fan of it. Okay, yes, I'm a big fan of doing your work with diligence, doing your work with excellence. And if you've been watching my video, you know I say this so many times, right? But I'm not a fan of the hustle culture. Why? Because for me, hustling is like I'm pursuing something that I'm not sure I have, right? But then being excited, you can be excited, you can be driven, you can apply yourself because you are sure that you have it, right? And so you're doing it from a place of gratitude, you're doing it from a place of strength, you're doing it from a place of knowing that it's already yours. And so you have a lot of enthusiasm, gratitude in going for it because you know that it's already yours. And so even when you hit obstacles, you have the resilience, you have the grit to be able to overcome the obstacles because you know that it's already yours. You know that the results are already predicted, right? And so from that place, you begin to rewire your identity. And then you can then ask yourself honest questions like, how much do I need? Right? How much do you need? And why do you need that money? So now it's no longer an ego battle of, oh, I want to have as much money as XYZ, like the story I told you about that lady, right? It's really around what do you really need to create the life you want? What do you really need to live in the abundance, the prosperity that you want? Right? What is it? And then you're going to be able to create an authentic money story that is yours. Not that is a you're comparing yourself to anybody. No, this is not an ego trip. This is your own money story. This is the one that is authentic to you, that the provision is already available for you. Okay? And that's what you have to start to do. And then as you start to do that, and you begin to have clarity of how much you really need from a place of ease and knowing yourself and understanding your needs, then you begin to get instructions, directions. And instruction and directions can come from different things, right? It can come from you're currently doing a job, all of a sudden you find ways to do it better. You're currently running a business. All of a sudden, you get ideas or concepts running better, or opportunities that are unexpected, like things you never even thought about, now comes to your reality, and those opportunities literally transform your life. Okay, because right now you begin to attract abundance from a place of ease, from a place of grace, from a place of knowing where your source is. Okay, so if you watch this video, let me know in the comments if this resonates with you. And then, like I said earlier, if you want to go deeper into this work so that honestly you can really rewire your mind, shift your identity to attract abundance, my Millionaire Mindset course is the resource I always recommend because I spend time creating those videos and creating a step-by-step process to actually shift your mindset and then attract abundance into your life. I'm going to drop the link somewhere. It's softandsuccessfulnetwork.com/millionaire mindset, but I will drop the link here so that if you watch this video, you can click the link in the description and the comments and definitely to add value to you. Okay, so as I'm rounding off, what is your immediate takeaway that I want you to do? Okay, first of all, identify what your money story is. All right, and then if you want to go the extra mile, trace where that story come from. Most likely it's from your childhood, your background, your upbringing, an incident that happened to you. And number two, identify who your source is. Okay, knowing that there's a higher source than you that provides your need. All right. Number three, I want you to write your new money affirmation. Okay, what you now choose to believe, okay, about money. So write it down. If you want to share with me, feel free to share it. I will comment on it if you comment on this video and cheer you on and tell you what I think about it. And then begin to repeat and say it to yourself. So you embody that identity, okay, of this new money story. And then number five, which is finally, you now begin to take action from that place. Okay, remember the billionaire's child, right? You already have. So you're not taking action from, hey, scarcity, I don't have. No, you're taking action from confidence. I already have. It's already mine. It's already mine. And so I'm going to just go get it. Okay, and live the amazing life that comes with getting it. Okay. Okay, so those are my 5 steps. It's my assignment for you. I hope this adds value to you. Let me know in the comment below. If you watch it live or you're watching the replay, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And please don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends if it adds value to you, your community, so that we'll all change our money story, rewire our identity, and attract financial abundance into our lives. Okay, I will see you again next week, Monday, with an interesting conversation about beliefs and how our beliefs can be transformed to really truly live an abundant life. So that's what I'm doing all through Mondays in February. So look forward to it. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share it with your community. And I'll see you again in the next one. Bye bye.